Welcome to Search Online Academy, guys. Today we are going to look on question D. On question D and E. Go and look on the previous video. That's where I have done question A up to question C, and this is our question, guys, on section B on files. So I'm not going back to do much of explaining of this question, but when you go to this video of question A, that's where you are going to find the much explanation there. But here we are being asked on question D to write the method which display the important details, and these important details are the surname and the initial. Initial is like the first letter of the name, and then the school name, age, and the final mark test. And this guy is all these details we are being printing it from the file that we have called student files is the one that we are using, and this file is here. You see, you have daycare blessing kutama mash west what. If you look here, you have got daycare B kutama 16, which means this one is the age and this one is the final test mark, which is the one that we have at the end here. This one and this one and this one and this one and this one, this initial and this one is the one that we have to print. So let's dive into our code. I've already created this method. This one is the method that we need display important details. So inside this method, that's where I have to write some of the code, the code that we need. But guys, we have already done most of the things that we need here. So you have to just come here, and I'm going to take just this one, and I'm going to paste it over here. And then here, okay, so it throws an exception, guys, so we have to catch that exception. If it like a file not file is not there, or if the path is not actually directed us to the file that we need. So here I'm just going to take also the while loop, the one that we are going to use to do the magic that we are doing. So this while method is just going to, here we have already read our file, and then we put it in the scanner object here. So we are going to use the while loop to loop in our file which we have put in the scanner object. So here what we are going to do is we are going to use the next method, so that whenever we have the none blank space in the scanner object sc or in the file, we are going to keep looping our while loop. But whenever we reach at the end of file, we are going to terminate. But for this one, you only have to read the first line, because it's the one that if you look at the output which is being needed here, is only of the first line. Maybe this one, on the E that which is asking you to modify the method, is the one that need to read the whole file, but here we only need to read the first line. So what am I going to do here? I'm going to mark the things that we need. So here I'm not going to remove all this next double and everything, and I'm going to explain why am I going to leave that. But this one, don't need it here anymore, don't need it anymore, and you don't need you anymore. Okay, and here 6, I don't need you anymore. Age, we need you, but see the school name, we don't need you anymore here. But the province, we need the province on the important details. And then I'm going to remove this school name need it anymore. And then the province, you don't need it anymore. And then 6 test 1 mark, yes, we don't need you anymore. What we need is the age. Okay, test mark 2. We only need the test mark 3, which is our final test mark. Okay, and then here on name, we don't need the name, guys, we need the initial. So I'm going to tell you how are we going to do that, but first I'm going to explain here what is actually taking place here. Is like this. When we read the first line, okay, from the file, because we read the file into the scanner object, and we have this scanner object. So in the scanner object that we have, or in the file, we are going to read the first line, and that line we are going to put it in this variable or in this string, so that it will be a string of characters. And then when you have that, we are going to pass it also in an object, so that we can split it using the scan object, or to slice it. So here I'm going to take the first word, and I'm going, or the first string, the first word before the blank space is the one that I'm going to put in the name, and then the second into the name. And then because we don't need the other word in between the name and the province, so we are going to jump it using the next method, and we are not going to reference it or to put it in a certain variable. So it will be, I don't want to talk about garbage collection, but it will be not having any reference. Okay, so here we go to province, and then we go to age. But after age, we have got some of the columns that, or attributes that we don't need. So we use the next double to skip that up to the test mark 3. If you put this one here, you are going to run into a problem, because you are going to get a string rather than a double, because column or attribute that we have just after the age. So I think so I'm going to explain how are we going to get the initial. So here we have the name, but we need the initial. So how are we going to get the initial? I'm going to declare a character variable, and I'm going to use the method that we have, guys, in string, which is the char8. I'm going to use the char8 index what? Char8 index 0, and this char8 index 0 is going to take where is the problem? Not a statement where char8 index 0, maybe. Let me see. Okay, I know, I see where. Okay, I didn't put the reference variable here. I will have to put initials. Okay, so that's it, guys. So here, instead of printing the name, I'm going to print the variable initials is the one that I'm going to print, so that whenever we get the name, we are not going to print the name, but we are going to print the first letter of the name. And after that, guys, here, so that our while loop will not be keeping iterating up to the end of the file. I'm not just to dereference, but I'm going to create a new object, and I will initialize it to the scanner object that contains the data from file. And that object that I'm going to insert in that file, in that scanner object, is going to be empty, having nothing, so that it will terminate our while loop. So I'm going to say sc should be initialized to a new scanner object. And inside this I'm going to initialize nothing. And then here I have to call this method display important details, but I have already did it. So I'm going to run it, and I'm going to see the result. What are we going to get? Let me run down. Let's see. Here it is asking me to put the file name. Let me say student. And you see guys, we have only get daycare B, then age, and the final mark. And if you compare this one and the one that we have here in our not this one, but I need the other one. Okay, you see that this is the output that we were being asked to produce from our method. So I'm going to question E. Question E is saying modify your method above so it prints the details, surname, initial, school name, age, and final mark test of all the students in any document file with the same format and name. So here guys, we have to print all the students. So just to print all the students, but so what we have to do guys is to remove this statement only when you're modifying this, so that it can do all those things. It's here, count the students, just down here, it's here. You have to remove only this one. If you remove this, for reading into the file, that's why we use here the file name. If you were just only going to put the file name on your own, not to put the file name, I was just going to type here student.doc so that it will read direct, but here I'm asking the user so that we can read from any document. Then I will execute this file, and let's see what are we going to get. You have to get the whole file, okay, but with the important details. So here I'm going to type student. Let's see what are we going. So here it have printed the first name, then the initial age, and the final test mark from daycare up to Benny M. If you come here, you see that it's from daycare up to Benny Maxi. So I think that's all about the question. So that's all about where are you, my friend? Okay, I think that's all about question D and question E. So I think the next video I'll be doing this question F, which will be asking us to write a method which displays the average age, which displays the average age for all students in any what, which means here we have to take the age and we sum up and we divide it by the number of rows in the file, and then after that we do all other. So I have to say thank you guys for watching my video. Keep supporting me, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you. Meet at you on the next video.